Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Mother2Daughter. How are you? How are you doing? How has it been since we chatted last? So today we're tackling another question around women's mental health for young girls. Remember, I started this series to help out moms and dads who have young girls between the ages of 10 and their teens, wanting to know things about their periods or about any aspect of reproductive health. So any of those questions, and I've got one for today, so let me just read it out as it came. Okay, so this says, is it normal to get bloody urine in the bowl when you are on your period? So this is a young girl asking whether who's on her periods and has just been to the toilet and passed blood into the bowl, and when she had a look, noticed that her urine was darker and was looking a little bit bloody and wants to know if it's normal. So good question, cause for women who've had periods for years and years doesn't seem like a big deal. However, for somebody who's just starting, it can be quite upsetting, or it might be you don't understand what's going on. So let's quickly look at this and talk a little bit about whether it's normal or not to have urine that's stained blood when you're on your periods. Okay, so what I'd like moms and dads to explain to your daughters about their periods is to remind them a lot of the time, hopefully this has been covered in biology, and so we should know, your daughters should know, that their bladder, womb or uterus and their rectum and anus are sitting within the pelvis quite close to each other, and there are three separate openings. There's three separate openings from each of these organs that comes into the outside through the area, the vestibule between their legs. So if a girl or a lady is lying face up from top to bottom, you have three separate openings: the bladder opening or urethra, where you pass urine through, and in the middle the vaginal opening through which menstrual blood comes through, and then the anus at the back through which fecal material, feces comes through. So what she can expect during her period is continuing flow of blood and menstrual product through the vagina. Now, if she's just woken up in the morning, she's been lying down in bed and she just comes to use the toilet and sits, there might be a bit of a large amount of flow, just as any bit of accumulated blood product comes down just by mere gravity. So there might be a big release of blood at that point into the bowl, and of course that is enough, because probably passing urine at the same time, that is enough to color the urine. And it can be a bit upsetting if all you've done is to pass urine and not really expecting that much blood to come out. It depends on the heavy is your menstrual flow. On the first day of your period, I'll expect your menstrual flow to be heaviest. Now, don't forget that menstrual bleeding, the quantity of blood, the timing and all that can be different for different women. So the important thing for your daughter is that she establishes her pattern, that she knows her pattern. And I encourage the mindset of keeping a menstrual diary. So if they've got their phone or they've got their notebook, each day of the month when the period starts, they make a note of it, and of course a note of when it ends, so that you know the duration of the period, and just establish the pattern. And this will help you as mom or dad, and help us as the doctor to identify any changes in pattern that we can sort of attribute or put a structure around if problems do happen in the future. So yes, it is normal when you're on your period, you pass urine. It is possible that you also release some blood, because you're continuously flowing blood, you're continuously losing blood through the vagina. The blood is not coming from your urine. Your bladder does not contain blood. At that point, you are on your period. All the blood is coming from the vagina, exiting the womb. And check out my previous videos. I've explained about how menstrual blood does come around, how it develops and why it happens. So please have a look at that video if you've not checked it out already. I'll put a link in the description box below. But yes, that's a simple explanation, that there's sometimes when you go to the toilet while you're on your period and you pass urine, and the urine looks normal as usual. But there are also some times when you go and sit down and pass urine, there might be a change to the color of the urine. It might look a bit darker because it's got blood in it. It might also have some clots or little streaks of blood, because as you sit down, a little bit of movement of the organs, a little bit of gravity helps to pull blood away from your womb through the vagina into the bowl, and it mixes with urine there. So please don't panic. That's a very simple explanation. Be conscious of what your period is like. Sometimes you can have period pain, cramps, a bit uncomfortable, not severe pain. Please come and talk to us if your daughter is experiencing experiencing very severe painful periods, it is important that we're talking about that and looking into what might. Please send any questions around this area: period, menstrual periods, changes of the body around puberty, vaginal health, and so on, to me. I'd be happy to do videos on this subject if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found that useful. I hope it answered and clarified any doubts around this particular area. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you again soon. Take care.